Known as the Healing on Purpose Activator, Sheyenne Kreamer has spent more than 20 years helping people to heal mind, body, and spirit. Certified by the internationally known Water Doctor, Sheyenne's personal mission is to provide physical, emotional, and spiritual clearing to allow more people to find the energy to live in their purpose. Sheyenne believes everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's a failure. Her passion? Educating people on ways to become self-sustaining that are in alignment with our Creator, while building communities that house people who need it and healing our wounds. Here to present resolving physical, emotional, and spiritual challenges to joyfully live in your purpose, please welcome the Healing on Purpose Activator, Sheyenne Kreamer.
Thank you so much, Dexy, and it is such a joy to be here with all of you today. And I just want to give gratitude here to the Every Dot Black organization, to Dr. Davies, everybody who worked on this. It's actually very interesting as I've listened to these impactful presentations. I kind of like the summary for them all. So hopefully I can add another little tidbit or two to each of the presentations that you've already heard. Isn't that amazing when our Creator just knew that I should be batting cleanup for this whole group? So first slide, please. Okay, and you've heard this from many of our presenters today. It isn't a secret. Society is overwhelmed and stressed out. Some of you may be aware that my husband and I are full-time RVers, which can be an adventure all unto itself. We've been on the road for 6 years, and it can get a bit stressful at times, I will tell you that. But we were called back to Raleigh last summer because of this very issue. Suicide is the second leading cause of death of 10 to 18-year-olds. And I don't know about you, but that is just not acceptable to me. So thank you, Wayne, for the work that you're doing to try to help with that whole technology piece of the equation. But it's true, we're stressed out, doesn't matter what the reason is, because this stress is going across all races, all religions, all levels of society. It doesn't matter who or where you are, it's happening. So next slide, please. And somebody else pointed this out earlier as well. I mean, every single one of our presenters has talked about some of the same issues I'm here to express today. Because here's the thing. We can sit and look at all the things going on around us and feel totally wiped out, totally stressed out, totally anxious. But if we have no control over those things, what on earth good is it doing us? Thank God for people like Tiffany that are helping people to understand the connection between our emotions, our thoughts, and our actual physical well-being. We've got to stop worrying about so many of the things that we have no control over and start really digging into ourselves and the things that we can control. And every single one of our presenters today have been about how can you become empowered to take back control. So next slide, please. So what if, instead of worrying about all the things we can't control, what if we turned our attention to our purpose or our calling instead? Here's the thing that my husband and I have seen in our 6 years on the road. The number one thing that is stopping people from living in their purpose, in their passion, is health problems. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional or mental, and sometimes it's spiritual. And we're going to talk about that just a little bit today too. So, what can we do to first turn our attention in to whatever that purpose or calling is, and then figure out how to remove these obstacles that are stopping us from living there. Next slide, please. What's stopping us from living in that kind of joy? Well, you've heard almost all the different pieces here today, but so much of it comes down to what can we control? What control has our Creator given us? I know Tiffany did a great job of quoting some pieces of scripture. One of my favorite is actually Luke 10:19. And Luke 10:19, Jesus tells us that he has given us the authority to trample on scorpions and over all the power of the enemy. And if that is what Jesus says, then we shouldn't have anything to fear. And we should have plenty of reasons to get into our joy. Next slide, please. So, what are these things? Health challenges tripping you up? Oh my gosh. My husband and I almost didn't get on the road because he was in so much pain from joint problems. He had one hip replaced. He was still in pain. They were trying to get ready to replace his other hip and both of his knees. He started having sciatica. All of these things were sidelining us. He was stuck in a chair in pain most of the time and totally depressed. And guess what? That made me depressed too. Doesn't help anything at all. Next slide, please. You know, here is a sad truth. And regardless of what you're feeling right now about where we are in our society, especially since the beginning of the year, I want you to hear this because this was true in 2012 when my husband and I first looked at this, and it's become worse. This country spends more on healthcare than any other country in the world, but we're 49th in results. Thank you, Maxine, for helping people to understand that they've got to have an active voice in their healthcare. Because, oh my God, if we're spending that much money and 48 other countries are doing better in terms of results, there's something wrong with ours. And I encourage you to embrace some of the things that are happening in our world right now in terms of trying to help us get on a healthier path. Next slide, please. And what about emotional wellness? Oh my God. Yes, I love to laugh. And photographer did a great job of capturing me and my husband last year. And, you know, it is huge. Tiffany has already said so much about what needs to be said about that. Our emotions are tied to our health and our wellness. And there are ways to be able to release that stress, be able to release the anger and the guilt and the shame and all those things that tie us down. Next slide, please. The human brain is happiest when it's creating. This is a quote from a gentleman that I've spent some time learning from. And this is one of the reasons why I think there's so much power in the Every Black organization. Because we were made in the image and likeness of a creator. We were designed to create. And entrepreneurship is absolutely one of the best ways that we can absolutely be creating and becoming self-sustaining. Next slide, please. How many of us are experiencing spiritual conflict? Many of us don't even that we are. Sometimes it can just seem like the enemy himself is attacking us. And in some cases, who knows, maybe. But here's the kind of conflict I'm seeing a lot of right now. There's a lot of people who are feeling called to do something that their creator wants them to do, but they don't feel like they can give themselves permission to do it. They either feel like, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I'm not good enough to do that. Oh my gosh, why are we torturing ourselves this way? God gave every single one of us a unique gift, a unique puzzle piece, that if we were all building our puzzle pieces right now on planet Earth, we would be living in ultimate health, wealth, and peace for all. So stop being in conflict with what the Creator is asking us to do. Figure out how to embrace it. Next slide, please. Are you starting to get a sense of that missing element that can make all of these things work better, feel better, and take you out of the turmoil? Next slide. To put it simply, it is God. We talk about God. We pray to God. We sit here in Every Dot Black and honor God in every single one of these meetings. And yet, it's all about being the hands and feet of God and giving or utilizing the tools that God has given us. Next slide, please. When it comes to your purpose, do you know what yours is? Next slide. I've already mentioned this. Focus on your piece of God's puzzle. We all have one. That's why we're here. Next slide. Have you left God out of your health care? We've heard Maxine mention things about holistic healing. If you don't know much about that, please find out. I'm a resource. Many of the people here are as well. Next slide, please. Because you can find God in minerals, a huge healing component that most of us are not getting enough of. You can find God in the vitamins in our plants, in our herbs from the plants, in our essential oils. These are God-created healing tools. And unfortunately, you don't usually see these in your health insurance policy. Ever stop to ask why that might be? God's been taken out. Next slide, please. Have you left God out of your emotional wellness plan? Next slide. God is our creator, and you are a creator too. Get busy creating. If you're not in business, that's fine. This is a photo. We were creating blankets to send to Holocaust survivors. This is such an amazing thing to be involved in a community, in a group, and creating things like this. Add in prayer, meditation, herbs, essential oils, music, drumming, and minerals once again. These are all God's creations that can help with your emotional health. Next slide, please. And above all, start saying yes to God when he calls you. Because here's the thing that I've learned being on the road for 6 years. This is totally God's calling. This was not our idea. I promise you, you won't have time to worry about anything else. Next slide, please. So, as I said, that really was almost kind of a wrap up of a lot of everybody else's presentations today. And I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity to bat clean up, as they say here in the baseball world. But what I want to tell you is, first of all, one of the things that provides a lot of fear and anxiety for a lot of people, and we know this from the pandemic, is viruses, flus, things of that nature. And one of the things that we're offering here today is an opportunity for people to be able to purchase a product called Nano Balance, which actually has all of God's natural components for antibacterial and antiviral. In fact, it will kill those viruses and bacteria, and God's help. And that's a beautiful thing. And we have some great women online with us today who are getting ready to build a next level education system, because there's a lot of concern about what's happening in education right now. So do know that anybody who gets into purchasing Nano Balance, there's going to be contributions made to help start up that new education system. Next page, please. And for anyone who's interested, I'm gifting everybody here a digital copy of our book that gives you more details about all the things that I've spoken about today. It's called Skip the Politics and Create Heaven on Earth. And, you can either take a picture of the slide or come to my breakout room, and I'll make sure that you can download a copy of this book. Because here's the thing. People have no idea. My husband ran for governor. He saw up close and personal how ridiculous ridiculous the political system is. It's rigged in so many ways. And we want you to understand that you don't have to pay attention to what's out here. This is why we're on the road. This is why we're so passionate about helping other people, because we want you to help build new systems, just like our ladies do in the education, that can make the old systems obsolete. You guys have the power. You guys are the miracle. You guys have the ability to build new systems that serve all of you and everybody on planet Earth in ways that we've never been served before. So this is a free download for you. There is my website, my phone number, and anybody who's interested in nanobalance as a way to help fund a new education system and help you all to feel healthier. You can either just put kids in the chat so that I know to be in touch with you, or come visit me in my breakout room, and we'll make sure that you have no excuse to not be out here being the miracle that God created you to be. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a blessed day.